Here we are in New York City with EREZ. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. All the way from Tel Aviv, huh?
All the way from Tel Aviv. It's a long flight, I'll tell you.
How long of a flight is that?
It's a 10-hour flight.
Wow.
You catch up with your sleep deprivation. Yeah.
Do you have a chance to do any listen to any music or writing while you're on that flight?
No, usually.
No. It's kind of relax and chill, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but you're here in New York, actually in the States, to promote your album, Proper Lady. How did you get to writing the songs on Proper Lady? What's the creative process like for that?
Well, in a debut album, you work your entire life, right, towards that album. So it's basically the creative process in writing. And when I write, is just it varies. It can start from a melody, it can start from a harmony, it could start from a sentence that I'm caught on. And I sit, and then the hard part is sitting down and working at it and grinding until you're sharpening it, and it's just hours of work on each song, really. But it's finding that first thing that is the inspiration to the whole picture. It's like picking the colors of the palette, and then now I'm in front of the canvas and I need to draw this thing instead of.
So what sparks the inspiration?
I guess life and emotions. The song is like a capsule of time of a certain emotion, and the beauty and the magic in a song is when a listener can relate to something that is genuine. At least I do. So I guess experience going through a certain thing. Yeah.
Do you bring others into that creative process?
The only person I bring in is my mom, actually. She's a writer herself, fiction, and a literature teacher in the university. Professor, I'm sorry. And she, a couple of years ago, came to me with lyrics. She said, "Hey, do you want to do something with this?" And I was like, "Sure." And 2 songs off of the album, she wrote the lyrics, and all of my lyrics go through her. She suggests and talks and confronts me and things. She's like, "What do you mean by this?" So it's a lot of. She's like the editor of the text.
So you said over a couple of years. So is that really when you got your start getting into music, or were you performing music or playing music just for yourself even before that?
I went into music professionally at the age of 18, actually. I'm 23 now. I hit up one of Israel's biggest producers with sketches, like home sketches. And he said, "Man, this is interesting. Come by to my studio in Tel Aviv." I was like from a place up north. And I came by and played him a few songs, and that's when we started our creative process on this album.
So the music scene in Tel Aviv, based on what you know in the United States, how different is that?
First of all, let's start with the fact that there's 8 million people in the country, In New York, there's 8 million people. So that has an enormous effect on just the music scene, just an industry, in the end it's an industry, and people working in it and the departments in it. So the Tel Aviv scene is like one big family. Everyone knows everyone. So on one night I can hit 7 venues with my bicycle and a guitar on my back just because I'm going to support friends, and it's a 20-minute ride anywhere you go. So it's very different just because of size. It feels like a huge community inside a country of musicians. And the scene here I haven't really gotten into yet. I'm just starting to understand.
So you talk about supporting fellow musicians. Have you or do you have any plans to do any collaborations? Or if you could collaborate with somebody
in the States,
and it could be with anybody.
Oh man,
who would that be?
Well, the dream, of course, like the biggest the messiah of all is Stevie Wonder. You know, he is like, dude, he is. That's it. Say no more. You know. But in terms of like realistic goals of trying to collaborate with someone, I would love to work with Mark Ronson or Danger Mouse. You know, they're like my favorite producers working right now. Yeah.
So, have you had a chance to tour yet in the United States? You just
No. This is the
arrived,
first tour.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
wow.
is the first tour happening in the States. Yeah.
So how many states are you planning, or how many venues are you planning on performing at while you're here?
I've already performed in Nashville a couple of times, but just like acoustic sets. And in New York, we're playing like 6 shows, if I'm not mistaken, with my band. And then we're also hitting DC.
Very nice. Very nice. So what's that like then? You bring a whole entire band with you from Tel Aviv. I mean, how much of a project is that to get a band? You know.
Well, our drummer is actually New York based, so he lives here,
Okay.
and my bassist is here just doing other stuff. So he's in New York, so it's actually
So that works out well.
Yeah, so it's bringing 2 guys over, and we had bureaucracy, but it worked out.
Do you utilize social media, or how do you go about really getting the word out, especially coming across the seas to perform? How do you get the word out about your music and about who you are?
That is something we've been talking a lot about in my team. I mean, I think, isn't that the golden question? Isn't everyone trying to figure out how to convey their music into the majority of population, I guess? The internet is like the key to everything today. I get hit up from Taiwan and places, I've never been or known or don't know anyone there. It's just, they're like, hey, we found you on YouTube. This is awesome. Where can we get your album? Just working hard on social media and
So how cool is that? Now that the internet's been around and everyone's utilizing it, they're recording their music, they're putting it out on iTunes and other download sites. You don't need a record label really to get your music out there. I mean, was there ever a thought that you would want to be signed to a record label? And what are your thoughts around going? I mean, you're doing it yourself now, so what are your thoughts around continuing to do that or working with a label?
That's a complicated question because there's so many variables into whether deciding to go with a label or not. Today labels are very different, as we talked about. And their purpose and their goal in an artist's development and career. So I would say going into a label is an essential thing at a certain point in your career today. But there's a lot that you can do independently. You just need to build the right team around you that believes 100% in the music and that can help you do stuff you can't do.
Yeah. So I had a chance to listen to some of your music. Very enjoyable. I love it. By being independent, it's great because you do get to write and record what you want in the way that you hear it in your head and that you want to do that. Whereas with a record label, they might put some of their own creative spin on that. Do you worry about that if you were to go with a label, or what would your thoughts be?
I've never even thought of that, actually, about people. I'm such a boss when it comes to music. Like, I don't know. I guess good luck to the label trying to work with me, on creative decisions. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like creative process is something you need to collaborate on, not necessarily. It needs to be someone you can communicate with.
Yeah,
I guess.
So of all the places that you've played, whether it's cities or an actual venue, where do you find the one that you enjoy returning to the most?
Back in Israel?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. I think my hometown.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing like having your own friends, your people in the crowd. It's like, it's the most exciting. For sure.
What's it like being on stage looking out, and I'm assuming everyone's singing along?
You're freaked out. You're freaked out when it's your friends there, It's like, I'm eating dinner with them afterwards. They're going to tell the truth about how...
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah, no,
you want to hear
amazing,
the truth.
For sure.
That's how you grow and you get better, right?
Yeah.
So it is really good. So you're playing a few dates here we spoke about in New York. You got Rockwood coming up later this month. In October you have another date.
Soho House.
Okay. Well, we're gonna look for you. We're gonna let everyone know to come out and see you. You've got a great album here.
Thanks.
Proper Lady is the name of the album. You can find that I'm assuming on all digital download sites, and you've got some videos on YouTube that we could also check out. And then how would people do you have a website that people could find you on?
There's a website, erezproperlady.com actually. There's also just social media, EREZ, all social media. Or just look for EREZ Music or EREZ and Bandcamp and YouTube. If you just do EREZ, you can also. And
they could sign up to follow you and to make sure that they get updates on all the cool happenings and find out where you're going to be. So, we're going to be looking for you to be on a stage here later this month in the city, and we're going to come out and support you, and hopefully we'll have everyone listening to our interview here joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for
and
having
buy
me.
Your music. So, thanks again for taking your time out of your day here. It's been great.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
It's a beautiful day.